There's probably a lot of moments in time that you wish you could go back to. Probably a historical event you wish that you could have actually witnessed yourself. And there's plenty of people in this world who wish that they could leap forward into the future, wishing that they would be at a better place. However, time and space itself and time travel is something that might be a possibility in the future, but for right now, we just have to question if it is possible with these stories. Hello everybody, welcome back to Feyland, and I'm joined once again by my wonderful, wonderful man.
Hey there, coming over from 24 LUFAs where we co-host there. That's our share channel if you guys want to check that out.
So check out the link in the description below. While you're also down there, subscribe to the channel.
You subscribe and then you could feel better about yourself for helping a small YouTube channel, you see.
Really small YouTube channel.
Time travel. Where would you go? Where would you time travel? Future or past? Let's start there.
Probably I don't know, the future might be boring.
The future might be boring.
So Mike Markham, in the 90s, was trying to become an electrician, And he lived in Missouri, and while being an electrician, he decided that he wanted to make a time machine because somehow electrician and time machines come together, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You learn a little bit of science and you think it's all possible.
You think it's all... Yeah, I when I first heard that, I was like, I don't know how, redoing a house could go into, redoing time itself. But, I guess there's a way. He decided to build this time machine that he called Jacob's Ladder on his back porch.
Okay, nice.
Yeah, Jacob's Ladder, it's a cool name.
Okay, is it the shape of a ladder?
It was actually, you could say that because it was made from a laser disc and 2 iron rods, or 2 rods put together. So if you put 2 slots in between, you can have a little mini ladder, With this laser disc and rods and other mechanical stuff that he got, he built a mini time machine that he claimed that worked for a second, a few times.
Just for a second, the electricity ran until everything shorted out, but for that second, while electricity was flowing, that means I was time traveling. It's a fact.
You were actually, you are right. There's a few reports of him causing blackouts in the neighborhood, trying to get his machine going. So, he basically said that he made it work, and in the middle of the 2 rods, there was a black hole. A blackish hole that you would find on the cement, alright?
Oh. I thought you meant a galactic black hole.
Well, basically that, like a black hole.
Oh.
So he took a screw, a small screw, and he threw it in there, and then he claims that it reappeared in his room a little bit later.
So that's it returning to its original timeline?
Yeah. What makes you question it?
That's just so there's no one there, right? So my main thing is that this could just be a straight lie, because people just lie because they're freaks.
That's true. And even if his mom and dad were like, yeah, I saw my son make time machine, it's
biased people there.
So he said that it worked a few times, but then the laser disc caught on fire and the machine burnt out and he had to start over. But he's like, if I'm gonna start over, I'm gonna make it motherfucking big.
My neighborhood is no longer gonna be my only victim. My whole city is gonna lose power.
You're right.
What?
Because he went to this place called King City, and he actually stole 3 transformers. Because he used a transformer, but a small one the first time. But if you wanted to make it really big, enough for a human or an animal to go through, he would have to he stole 3, 10 300-pound generators and a bunch of other shit around the city. Which caused him to go to jail for 7 months. I think he was fine, bro. That just gives me more time to sit here and work out my shit,
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter how much time I spend in here, because I'm just gonna go back in it.
Yo, that's the new dark Back to the Future movie timeline.
Yeah.
Oh shit, Marty McFly goes to jail.
You can't do the time if you rewind.
You can't rewind, you know?
Yeah.
So he gets out of jail and he goes on a radio show in 1996 called Coast to Coast Radio, which is, look it up, it's a real show, okay? And he went on it claiming that, you know, his first time machine worked, but now he's making a big one, and he'll take any advice from anybody. He gave out his phone number on the radio for anybody to call him.
Yeah.
And people actually gave him money to fund his project.
What the hell?
So in 1997, he went back on the radio. And he said that he has tested his machine out a few times with animals, and they have reappeared in the warehouse that he works at with his time machine. So he's ready to try it with an actual human.
And he didn't try it on himself?
He tried it on himself.
Oh, then what happened?
He disappeared.
Forever?
Like nobody has found him at all. Nobody has had any sign of his whereabouts or where he's been. But a few days later, like a few weeks later, somebody went up on the radio show, okay, or called in.
Okay.
And they claimed that they found a report from 1930 claiming that they found
A time traveler?
Well, basically that they found that people in this beach in 1930s found a dead body on it in a cylinder tube, and he like near the body, okay, was found a device that looked like a phone, okay, they were describing it as like a future phone, and Mark in the radio show, he said that when he goes to the future or the past, the only thing he's gonna bring with him is a phone.
What was in the cylinder?
His dead body.
Oh, he was inside the cylinder?
He was inside the cylinder. But what I have to say, though, you know, to be fair, like, this was 1997, okay, before the internet got crazy and put everything on it. So I really believe, like, you know, there's possibly a report of that out there, but it's not on the internet or anything, you know? This was maybe found in a book or maybe found in, like, an old newspaper thing at the library. Who knows, you know? Yeah. To be fair. So he's been never seen again, though. Who knows if maybe it was a cover-up? Who knows if maybe he disappeared? You know, maybe he was like, oh, I can't actually time travel, so I'm just going to fake my own death and disappear or something, you know?
Just run away with all the money.
Oh, yeah, all the funded money and all that.
Yeah.
You know, so you want to know why Mark wanted to go into the future, the first story we talked about?
Why?
I forgot to mention. Because he wanted to get lottery numbers.
That's so basic.
Like, that's what I was going to say. So I'm happy we're bringing up this now, because, like, if I invented time travel and I could go to the future, because this guy expected that he would go to the future and come back to the past, right? Like, why would you want to get just lottery numbers, you know? It's so typical how, like, every plot line in a movie is like, time travel exists. Okay, what should we do? Oh, we should get lottery numbers. Like, you could go anywhere. You could see anything.
Do they actually just publish a book of lottery numbers? I don't think that's a thing.
I think you could just look it up. Like, the lottery numbers this year was that.
How would they know to look it up?
Because you could look that up, babe. You could look up.
Okay, but how could someone from the 1980s, 1990s,
yeah,
look it up with modern technology? They don't know how to Google.
That's true, but maybe they said it in the newspaper, you know?
Oh, so they're just gonna go to a library and search for it?
Yeah, or something, you know? Like, they go into, like, 2000, you know? Like, computers were starting to be a thing in 1997, like, you know? Not start. I don't know. Okay, let's move forward.
In time, like time travelers.
So, a man in 2006, okay, who looked like he's in his 20s.
Okay.
Looked very confused. Okay, he just, you know, appeared out of nowhere and looked really confused and was staring at skylines.
Very confused. Not too different from the 20-year-olds in modern day.
Nice. So he was looking around, and he was dressed in clothing that was old, but was brand new, and he had stuff on him that was old but was brand new, and a camera.
Ye old new swag.
The old new, yeah, I was just a hipster. Honestly, now if somebody showed up in the middle of San Francisco and was like, "Hey, I'm a, time traveler," like, you're just a hipster, bro,
Or one of the many, drug addicts there.
Yeah, they steal like a fedora and they think they're from the 50s,
I'm top of time travelers.
Say, I'm gonna save the lady, see?
I'll tell you how it's gonna work, Buster.
So this was in Ukraine though, okay?
Ooh.
Yeah, so
Slava Ukraine, by the way.
Yeah, shout out. Sorry for what's going on there. The police were called, okay, because he was freaking out, and they brought him into the station. And they're like, what's going on? You know what I mean? And the whole time he's staring at people's cell phones with weird looks, he's staring at the wall clocks with weird looks, and he's like, what day is it? And the police was like, oh, it's 2006, like April 23rd. And he's like, last time it was Sunday, and I was taking a walk, and it was 1958. Ooh. That's not accurate. That's not today. So they put him in not like a cell, but just a place to hold him at and stuff. Even though describing it in the documentary, it sounded like a cell because there was bars on the window.
Ooh.
And they kept a 24-hour look on him.
Just watching him shit.
Yeah, can you imagine having some amnesia or panic attack and somebody oh, I'm in the cell, he's a fucking lunatic.
Yeah, put him in. I want to stare at him all day.
Yeah, so they think he's just a crazy guy who's dressing up as a guy from the past. But when they go back to his room, he vanished out of nowhere. Classic time traveler. Can't stay in one place.
Yeah.
To finish what he did.
So is that okay, he returned back to his natural time?
Well, the story gets interesting.
The plot thickens like my thighs.
Yeah, because wait, there's more. Alright, so he disappears, and they're like, there's no way he could have left because there's 24-hour surveillance, and there's bars on the window, there's no way he could have gotten out, okay? So they start doing some digging, okay, because they still had his camera, in his items, some belongings of his wallet and his camera. But this camera was from the 1950s, and they stopped making it in the 70s, and it was 2006, so they're like, how are we gonna get this shit developed, okay? So they went to an expert developer and stuff, and he was like, this film that was used in the camera should be really super old, and damaged or whatever, but it's brand new, okay? It's brand new.
Sauce.
So, that's not really weird though. Okay, fine, you buy old footage, right? It comes new, that's whatever, right? But what was weird, what was on the camera?
Nudies? Nudie booties?
Nudie booties of the Fuji Pooties? So on the camera, when the pictures were developed, because Sergio, the guy we're talking about, said that he went out for a stroll and took photos and stuff. And he also said that he saw a beam of light, and then next thing he knew, after seeing a beam of light and a flying object in the sky, maybe a UFO, he was now in 2006. So when they developed the photos, on them was Sergio, a woman, and photos of the town that they were in, but from 1958.
Whoa, evidence.
Yeah, and I think I've been getting the timeline wrong, but it was 1958. So if I said 1956, my bad. But so people were like, "Whoa, shit!" So he had photos of him and photos of the town that they were in from 1956 on the camera in 2006.
Yeah, the only more proof you could get if he was holding a newspaper while getting his picture taken.
Yeah, shit. Well, then that would have been a little more
I know, but I'm saying it would only be more proof if he was holding that too.
That's true, but the plot thickens more. So a little background for Sergio before we dive deeper into the photographs, okay? So basically, he appeared out of nowhere. He had photographs from the past. Okay, but it gets even weirder because there's actually a recording from 1958, okay, on a radio program of Sergio explaining stuff from the future.
So he did go back.
Yeah, so he basically, it's like people think, did he go to the future and then he went back to the past and then made that recording in 1958 on the radio show. And then I'll talk about other stuff in the, more in the, when we get more in the future of this video. But basically, on this radio show, he predicted artificial hearts, okay, how phones won't need wires in the future. And the biggest one...
That was bloody top secret. It gets bigger than that?
It gets bigger than that. It gets bigger than that because he also talked about the microwave in 1958. And he explained that it would be like a clock-like timer type of device where when it went off, the food would be perfectly cooked and ready.
A time machine for food.
A time machine for food, bro. So basically they started, so that's the question. Yeah, like I said, did he go to the 2006, look at everything, and then go back to the past, make this recording, and then go to the future? Or is he like a time jumper in general, So at this point, we get back to the photos. So they look at the woman in the photos, okay?
Okay.
And she was living in an apartment in Ukraine, and they found out that this was actually a woman, okay, named Valentina Kuliz. If I said that wrong, sorry. And she was actually, like, the wife of Sergio. Like, a good friend, a good lover, a good wife, like, yeah, because she explained how he was a good friend, but, like, basically, like, they were husband and wife, they were together, you know what I mean?
She introduced them as buddy.
Yeah. She like, he did down on me. I don't know where his ass went. He a buddy to me now. Fuck,
he smell weird.
Yeah, he got a time machine goop on his ass.
Stink ass perfume is on him.
Yeah, from the 1930s. Shit. So, they go to Valentina's apartment, and they're like, hey, who the fuck's Sergio? Where'd he go? Like, there's a guy pretending to be Sergio in his 20s, like, on the street, like, acting like a crazy person. So she's like, oh, Sergio went missing in 1977 while taking photographs. They were like, wait, so he disappeared in 1958 and then he disappeared in 1977 or something, you know what I mean? Okay, what the fuck, Like, she showed them a picture of Sergio and stuff who disappeared in 1977, and he looked exactly like the guy, but older, who they saw in the interrogation room. And then it gets weirder, folks. It gets weirder.
Oh, goodness, this
plot twist.
Thick.
So Valentina's like, what is this all about? You know what I mean? They're like, well, this guy came in acting like Sergio, but now Sergio's gone missing in 1977 in the same incident. Like, we don't know what's happened to him, And she's like, well, I don't know where he is, but I had this, like, envelope delivered to my house a few years ago, and I can't really make anything of it. And in this envelope that's blank, it's a photograph of Sergio, who looked older, and he's in front of the Motherland's monument in Ukraine. But in this photograph, you can also see a bunch of different buildings, all right? And on the back of this photograph, he writes, "I'm safe, I'll try to return one day." Okay? And so these people go to the exact location where this photograph was taken, where the Motherland's monument in Ukraine is. The exact location, and those buildings haven't been built yet.
Oh, no.
Do you wish that time travel would be possible one day? Or do you think it would just cause, like, a whole mass crazy thing?
That's always the fear. You don't know which time travel is the accurate time travel. Is it going to delete everything if you fuck up one little butterfly?
If I wanted to travel to the future and the past, I would want to do it like Ebenezer Scrooge style, where they can't see me. They just I just kind of float around. Or maybe like The Good Place, where in the afterlife they can go through a door and see any event in time and not mess anything up. Like something like that. Either way, guys, thank you for checking out Welcome to Feyland, and thank you to my man Louise, because I'm not going to buddy you like Valentina. I'm not going to buddy you.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Thanks, buddy. Just kidding. I love you. And don't forget to check out 24 LUFAs. It, of course, is also for your subscriber, ring the bell so you get notifications. We try to post at least once a week.
A link for our channel will be in the description, and while you're down below, subscribe there.
Yeah. Come on, be one of those peoples that goes down there. We're gonna go to the future where we have 1 million subscribers and kill our future selves and replace them.
Alright, shut it off.
Shut it off.
Shut it off.